The Tigers take 2 of 3 out of Progressive Field. The Mud Hens, after struggling to win today, after losing in extra innings the night before in Durham. The NHL awards have been passed out. And now a day off before the start of the 2015-2016 NHL season. And we're ready for it. Is it October yet? Specifically, October 9th. And the NBA draft tomorrow night. We won't talk about it on this program until tomorrow. So tune in tomorrow for All Andy Alfred, the NBA draft preview. But you sit back, relax, and I hope you enjoyed today's action on the diamond. Because it's time for my show. It's time for All Andy Alfred right here on Clay Fan 2, 3.
I've been listening to you, watching the same games you've been watching, but I have the nerve to say what's on my mind. It's time to listen. It's time to learn. It's time for All Andy Alfred. Starting now.
Go get 'em,
Tigers.
Tiger. Wow.
We're all behind our baseball team. Go get 'em, Tiger. World Series bound and picking up steam. Go get 'em, Tiger. There'll be joy in Tiger Town. We'll sing you songs. The Bengals bring the pennant home where it belongs. We're all behind our baseball team. Go get 'em. Detroit Tigers. Go get 'em, Tigers.
Go get 'em, Tigers! 2 of 3 out of Progressive Field. Miguel Cabrera, a big game.
We're all behind our baseball team. Go get 'em. Detroit Tigers. Go get 'em, Tigers.
Oh, go get 'em, Tigers! I am so glad to play that song instead of this song. Indian fever is catching fire with everyone. Indian fever, you can be part of the fun. You're the winner at every game. That's where the excitement begins. So let's Indian fever, be a believer with the Cleveland Indians. Oh, don't be a believer after today, especially losing 2 of 3 to the Detroit Tigers at your own ballpark, and you could even draw a good-sized crowd, to say the least, at Progressive Field in these 3 big games as you now hit the road to take on the East, the AL East, while the Tigers head up back home to take on the Chicago White Sox. I love you guys, and welcome to another edition of All Andy Alfred, right here on your exclusive home for me, Clay Fan 2, 3. I am your host, Andy Alfred, welcoming you into the Man Cave Studios and welcoming you into another edition of All Andy Alfred, the post-game edition version of this. Hope you're liking the new green polo. We'll talk a little bit about green that will be happening on Saturday as well, too. So much so. This is the post-game edition of All Andy Alfred. As you're hearing beeps going on, it's all updated scores going on, happening in the world of baseball. But first and foremost, we'll get into what happened the night before, and the Detroit Tigers taking on the Cleveland Indians at Progressive Field. David Price, outstanding outing for him. He was lights out for the most of the game. The third inning was a little bit of a shaky one for him, and the bullpen blew it in the 9th inning as the Tigers win 7-3. David Price gets the win. He goes now to 7-2 with a 2.42 ERA. Danny Salazar gets the loss. He goes to 6-3 with a 4.06 ERA. Andrew Romine homered, his second of the year. For Price in this game,
for Danny Salazar in this game for the Cleveland Indians. He went 4 1/3, 6 hits, 7 runs. 6 of those runs were earned. 3 walks and 8 strikeouts, 1 home run given up for Danny Salazar. For David Price, a great outing for him. 6 2/3, 9 hits, 1 run. That run was earned. 7 strikeouts. His ERA is a 2.42. Andrew Romine homered in the game, his second of the year. The final line for the game on Tuesday night was 7 runs on 9 hits and 1 error. For the Indians, it was 3 runs, 12 hits, and 1 error. So the Tigers getting a much-needed victory and taking this game 2 of the series, hoping to go for the sweep this afternoon against the Tribe. And we'll talk about that game here momentarily. But last night in the world of baseball, looking at the scoreboard on Tuesday night, the Nationals were a winner 3-1 over the Atlanta Braves. Pittsburgh a 7-6 win over the Cincinnati Reds. The Phillies again beating up on the Yankees 11-6. Boston losing to Baltimore 6-4. St. Louis a 4-3 win over the Miami Marlins. The Cubs in extras win 1-0 over the Dodgers. Tampa Bay a 4-3 win over the Toronto Blue Jays. The Oakland Athletics an 8-6 win over the Texas Rangers. Chicago, the White Sox were a winner 6-2 over the Minnesota Twins. Milwaukee 3-2 winners over the New York Mets. Colorado putting up a 10 spot on the board over the Arizona Diamondbacks as they win 10-5. Houston tripling up the Angels of Anaheim by leading them 13-3. Wilson getting rocked in the game. He goes now to 5-6 with a 3.92 ERA. Seattle a 7-0 win over the Kansas City Royals, and the Padres winning 3-2 in extras over the San Francisco Giants. So today's game, going into today's action, the Tigers looking to go for the sweep against the Tribe. And what happened, fans? Buck Farmer being called up from Toledo to get a start for Detroit, and that leads to the Detroit Tigers losing the game 8-2. The final line, the Indians had 8 runs on 13 hits, no errors. The Tigers 2 runs on 5 hits, no errors. Carrasco gets the win. He goes to 9-6 with a 4.16 ERA. Buck Farmer, a loss, goes to 0-2 with a 10.45 ERA. Martinez homer for Detroit, his 17th of the year. Francisco Lindor, his first home run as a Cleveland Indian. For Buck Farmer in the game, he went 5 1/3, 8 hits, 5 runs, all of them earned, 2 walks, 7 strikeouts, and 1 home run. The bullpen didn't help him out after he was taken out in the 5th inning. They gave up 1, 3, 4 runs, 6th, 7th, and 8th innings in the game. For Carlos Carrasco, he went 8 innings pitched, 5 hits, 2 runs, both runs earned, 1 walk, 7 strikeouts, and the 1 home run given up to Martinez in the game. Looking at other scores that happened today in the world of baseball, in day games, the Toronto Blue Jays were a winner 1-0 over the Tampa Bay Rays. Philadelphia losing to New York, and New York salvaging a win out of this 2-3 series against the Phillies. They win 10-2. Cole Hamels gets the loss. He goes to 5-6 with a 3.26 ERA. The White Sox lose to Minnesota 6-1. The Angels of Anaheim beat up in extra innings over the Houston Astros 2-1. We got games going on right now as we speak. Bottom of the 9th inning in Washington right now. It's 1-1 between the Atlanta Braves and the Washington Nationals. Bottom 7, the Reds are up 5-2 against the Pittsburgh Pirates. Bottom 7, the Boston Red Sox a 5-1 lead right now. Top of the 8th inning, the St. Louis Cardinals up 6-1 over the Miami Marlins. Bottom 4, the Dodgers cruising right now with a 4-0 lead over the Chicago Cubs. Midway through the 5th inning right now, Oakland an 8-0 lead over the Texas Rangers. Bottom 5 right now is Milwaukee 2, the Mets 1. That's bottom 5, and just getting ready to start up here is Arizona and Colorado. 10:10 start times tonight. It'll be Kansas City and Seattle. That's Duffy versus Ellis. 10:15 will be Kennedy versus Vogelsong in San Francisco. Well, looking at the standings today, after the Detroit Tigers win, not counting the loss to Kansas City yesterday, and Minnesota getting a win this afternoon. Here's the updating standings right now before Kansas City plays tonight. Kansas City is 40-26, first place in the Central. 39-33 are the Minnesota Twins. They're 3 games up in the standings. Detroit is 37-35, 5 games out, 2 games out of a wild card position. Cleveland's victory today now improves them to 33-38, 8.5 games out, 5.5 out in the wild card. And with the White Sox loss today to the Minnesota Twins, they're now 31-40, 10.5 out, 7.5 out of a wild card position. So now we'll see what happens in the rest of the series. The Tigers will now head home. They'll play a day game tomorrow. We will be on the air after the game tomorrow night. Tomorrow afternoon at 1:08. They will take on the Chicago White Sox. There'll be Alfredo Simon on the hill. He will start at 1. The game is at 1:08. He'll face Carlos Rondon for the White Sox. On Friday night, it will be Anibal Sanchez versus Jose Quintana. That's a 7:08 start time for that one. Sunday, it will be Kyle Ryan versus John Danks. That's a 4:08 start time for that one. And the concluding game on Sunday will be Jeff Samardzija versus David Price. A great pitching matchup for Sunday afternoon at Comerica Park. For the Tribe will hit the road. They'll start up a road trip starting on Friday in Baltimore. They will take on the Baltimore Orioles, and starting on the hill for them on Friday will be Corey Kluber. It'll be Wen Yu Chen for Baltimore on Friday night. On Saturday at 7:15 will be Chris Tillman for the O's taking on Cody Anderson. Can Anderson improve on his performance the last time out? And in the concluding game on Sunday, Trevor Bauer has been announced as the starter for the Indians. Buck Showalter has not yet named his starter. On Sunday, we'll give you those starters. We'll update those starters as it needs be. Justin Verlander not starting today for the Tigers this afternoon. So, interesting note of that. Could he be done? Could he be shelved? We'll see. If you're watching All Andy Alfred right here on your exclusive home for me, ClayFan23, presented by CarryTheFifthLine.tumblr.com. Let's talk a little bit about the Mud Hens today. And the Mud Hens were in action. They took on the Durham Bulls on Tuesday night. And in extra innings, the Mud Hens losing a heartbreaker of a game in extra innings. I can pull it up here. Here it is. Boom. Here it is. Tuesday. They lost 5-4 in 11 innings. Nesbitt gets the loss for the Mud Hens in this game. For the win last night, the win goes to Mr. Martinez, who's now 4-1 with a 1.44 ERA. Nesbitt gets the loss. He goes to 0-3 with a 5.40 ERA. Mike Hessman, his 9th home run of the year. Jeffrey Marte, his 9th home run of the year. As the Mud Hens get that going, lose in extras. Time of the game, 3 hours and 8 minutes, 8,749 at Durham Bulls Athletic Park. Good sized crowd on hand. Melvin Mercedes was the spot starter for this game. He went 3 innings pitched, 2 hits, 1 run, 5 strikeouts. His ERA is a 5.83. Bruce Rondon came into the game. He went 1 inning pitch with 3 strikeouts. Nesbitt, though, was the losing pitcher of that as he blew it in the 11th. He went 2 innings, 2 1/3, 2 hits, 1 run. That run was the go-ahead run, 2 walks, and no strikeouts. For Durham, he went 6 innings pitched, 8 hits, 4 earned. All 4 were earned, 9 strikeouts, 2 home runs from Marte and Hessman. So the Mud Hens losing a heartbreaker the night before. And looking at the scoreboard from the night before, it could have helped the Mud Hens to win. And I'll say that again. It could have helped for the Mud Hens to win yesterday because of the fact that Indianapolis lost 6-3. Louisville lost 6-4. Columbus losing 9-3. And then Toledo losing 5-4. Every team in the IL West lost yesterday. It could have helped the Mud Hens to get back into the hunt. And it couldn't happen. Indianapolis lost 6-3 to Gwinnett. Charlotte was a loser 4-3 to Syracuse. Lehigh Valley a 5-4 win over the Buffalo Bison. Louisville a 4-6 loss to the Scranton Wilkes-Barre Rail Riders. Columbus getting thumped by the Norfolk Tides 9-3. 4 runs in the 5th and 3 runs in the 8th really did it in for the Clippers. Pawtucket wins 5-3 over the Rochester Red Wings. And so then we get to today's action, and the Mud Hens today come out and they start swinging, and they got the win. They got the win in Durham today. A much-needed win, 7-5, 6 runs in the third inning. All the runs that the Mud Hens needed. Almost blew it again in the ninth. But Thad Weber gets the win. He goes to 5-3 with a 3.61 ERA. Florio gets the loss. He goes to 7-6 with a 4.53 ERA. Kernsman gets the save, his first of the season for the Durham Bulls. And Jordan Leonardson, 2 home runs in the game, his second and third. Jeffrey Marte again homering for the Mud Hens, his 10th of the year. Schaefer homered for Durham, his 9th of the season. For Thad Weber, he went 6 innings, pitched 4 hits, 1 run. That run was earned, 3 strikeouts. Carlson saves. He went into the 9th. He pitched only had 1 battery, and he struck him out. Dylan Florio went 2 2/3, 7 hits, 7 runs, all 7 earned, 1 walk, 1 strikeout. Bad outing for him. Time of the game, 2 hours and 44 minutes. 6,217 were in attendance for the game last night. So looking at the scores from the night before for the Mud Hens, and here's the scoreboard from today. And the Mud Hens needed a win. And right now in the top of the 8th, Indianapolis is losing 5-8. That could help the Mud Hens. Louisville's losing in Scranton right now, bottom of the 7th. They're losing 6-1. That could help the Mud Hens. Final in Columbus. In extras, the Norfolk Tides win 5-4. Bottom of the 9th right now, headed into Pawtucket, is tied 2-2 with the Rochester Red Wings. Lehigh Valley leading right now 5-4 in the top of the 9th inning over the Buffalo Bison. Bottom 9 right now, scoreless in Syracuse, New York, between the Knights and the Chiefs. So the Mud Hens will get into action. They'll conclude the series against the Durham Bulls tomorrow evening. 7:05 start time for that one. On the hill tomorrow for the Mud Hens, it will be Belfiore will start. He's 3-7 with a 5.90 ERA. Diamond will start for Durham. He's 7-3 with a 3.14 ERA. 7:05 start time for that one. Then on Friday, the Mud Hens will then hit the road. They'll continue their south road trip. They'll take on the Norfolk Tides. Melville on the hill. He's 3-6 with a 5.49 ERA. Guzman for Norfolk. He will get his first start of the season. And then on Saturday, it will be Green on the hill. He is 0-1 with a 3.16 ERA. He'll take on Mike Wright, who is 4-0 with a 2.45 ERA for the Norfolk Tides. 7:05 start time for that one. The concluding game on Sunday will be Jones for Norfolk, who is 4-4 with a 2.38 ERA. Larry Parrish is not yet named the starter for that. Before the Mud Hens can return home on Monday. Yes, they come back home to Fifth Third Field Monday evening. 7:05 start time at Fifth Third Field. So we'll see if the Mud Hens can salvage and take 2 of 3 in Durham. We'll see what happens with that. But like I said, big game today with the win today, and how the West is looking right now, that all teams are going to lose. The Mud Hens are going to gain a ground. They're right now 32-41, 10.5 games out of first place. Columbus with the loss today is now 39-35, 4 games out of first place. Louisville is 35-37, 7 games out of first place, and Indianapolis, with the loss tonight, could be 42-31. Updated score right now: Scranton Wilkes-Barre scores at the bottom of the 7th. Now they are leading 7-1 over the Louisville Bats. So it'll be interesting. It will be interesting to see how the Mud Hens do. Get your tickets for this upcoming weekend's, this upcoming homestand starting Monday. They'll be playing Monday, Tuesday. Wednesday is a day game. Thursday and Friday before they hit the road for the 4th of July. They will be in Indianapolis. So it'll be interesting to say that. So you're watching All Andy Alfred right here on Clay Fan 23. I'm your host, Andy Alfred. Of course, this show cannot go a day without talking about the game of hockey. And the NHL Awards has just wrapped up here. And big news for that. Carey Price wins the Hart Trophy. He wins the Vezina and the Ted Lindsay Award. A clear sweep at the top 3 for Carey Price. Congratulations. Eric Carlson wins the Norris Trophy. That I predicted that. And I predicted that Ekblad was gonna win the Calder Trophy as the Rookie of the Year. I believe that was going to happen for him. Hartley takes the Jack Adams Award. Jamie Benn takes the Art Ross Trophy. Jonathan Taves gets the Mark Messier Award for Team Leadership. Patrice Bergeron wins the Frank Selke Award. Lightning's GM of the Year. The GM of the Year goes to Steve Yzerman. Yes, Stevie Y gets the GM of the Year. Devin Dubnyk wins the Bill Masterson Award. Yuri Hoodler wins the Lady Byng Trophy Award. Crawford and Price awarded the William Jennings Trophy. So congratulations to a great night in Las Vegas. Chris Daughtry was in performance. Couldn't pick anybody else. Good. A great performance of that. So now we get a day off before the start of the 2015-2016 NHL season begins. Begins on Friday with the NHL draft. And we found out, and tomorrow, on All Andy Alfred, we will have the NHL announcement of the new 2015-2016 schedule, but we have breaking news, folks. In Jacket Country, get ready. October the 9th, 7:05 start time at 200 West Nationwide Boulevard, the start of the 2015-2016 season for our boys in Union Blue and Union Gray and Union Blue and Red. They will be carrying the flag of the state of Ohio as they take on the New York Rangers. 7:05 start time for that. Tickets have not been given away or have been announced yet, because the next night they will be in Madison Square Garden for the home opener for the Rangers. So that was announced today by the Columbus Blue Jackets and the NHL. Also notable games as well too. Wednesday night, it will be the Toronto Maple Leafs starting their home quest with the new Mike Babcock at the helm. He will be coaching against the Montreal Canadiens. 7 o'clock start time on that one. I bet you that will be on CBC. No doubt about that. Mike Babcock getting his first start as a new coach. You better believe that he will be on CBC. That game will be on CBC. I guarantee you that. They'll have that one and the late game as well too. They'll have a late game as well too. Probably Calgary playing somebody. Probably Vancouver or Edmonton. Be a late game, of course. But the Red Wings have not yet announced their starting schedule for them. The Penguins will start the following week on a Tuesday against the Canadiens. And that will be interesting. Other Jacket news, of course, to go through right now. Curtis McElhinney signing a 2-year extension as your backup goaltender for our Columbus Blue Jackets. So we have Bob and we have Mac ready to go. Now we're going to see in Matt Calvert. Get Matt Calvert. We'll be ready. We will be set and poised and healthy to go for Lord Stanley next year. To go for the Cup this year. If you disagree with me, comment on the show. It is at, or tweet me at All Andy Alfred. The Jackets look like they're going to be a team to watch out for in this game. And don't forget, Friday at 5 o'clock at Nationwide Arena in the Front Street Plaza, they will have the NHL Draft Party. Be outside, of course. It's going to be a great evening out there, well, too. But the following week is the developmental camp. And if you have never gone to this is the coolest thing. It's all free. And there's a donation that you give away to the Blue Jacket Foundation. And you can sit and watch hockey all day long. Watch the future Jackets that will be in Cleveland this upcoming fall. Jackets signing Curtis McElhinney. Mac is back for this time around. And so we'll see what happens. We will see what happens with the this draft coming up. We'll have the special NHL Draft Edition show for you guys on Friday. We'll break down and see what your teams are going to look like and who they're going to pick up in the first and second rounds of this NHL draft, and so much more. And remember, tomorrow we will have the NBA preview edition, NBA draft edition of our program. It'll be during the regular version of All Andy Alfred. Don't really do that much research. Not like I do the NHL draft. But we'll give you the inside analysis and so much more. And we'll also recap the Tiger game as well as the Mud Hens game for later. Preview the Mud Hens game for later tonight. But that's gonna wrap it up for All Andy Alfred tonight. I hope you enjoyed this program as much as I did. And remember, most importantly, go Tigers! Go Tribe! Get it done in Baltimore. Let's go Hens! And we are the 5th line. All we got to do is sign Matt Calvert. We'll be good to go. Get it done, boys. Get it done. That's going to wrap it up for All Andy Alfred. And, as always, I'm pulling for you. We're all in this together. The game of life. And to the teams behind me. And to your team that you root for at home as well. By the way, hello, Mexico. Victory is sweetest when you have tasted defeat. Have a great evening, everybody. I will see you tomorrow for another edition of All Andy Alfred. Love you. Talk to you guys tomorrow. Take me out with some Indian fever.
Indian fever. It starts on the very first inning. Indian fever. Each game is a brand new beginning. It's the hits, the homers, the double plays. It's how you feel when we win. So catch Indian fever. Feel the fever with the Cleveland Indians.
See you guys tomorrow. Love you, babe.